Okay, so this is the kennel block that would be for boarders. Each kennel is approximately 5 feet wide by 2.5 metres, about 8.5 feet in depth. I can't change the depth of the kennels, however I can change the width. And right now I think there's 28 kennels in this particular block. I would probably reduce that to around the 20 mark, with a licence of probably 30 dogs. You've got obviously a walkway between it, which is fine and handy. I think what I would probably do is doing double kennels for some of the bigger dogs. I'd need to find out how big or how small they're allowed to be. Everything else, the building outside, it's not insulated obviously, it's just anti-condensation steel roofing, gutters, steel frame, render down the bottom. My plan for the outside would be to remove the mesh and essentially block a lot of that up and put windows, whether it be sliding windows or something, I'm not exactly sure. That would minimise noise because we have a neighbour right behind those trees. I'm assuming the boundary ends just at the end of the building as well, and that's the current owner's kind of workshop and such like. There's a good sized drive, obviously you can see the two massive RVs and cars there. Is that one locked as well? Well, that's, yeah. Because I want to quickly video things, Dad. Yeah. I want to video things. So that's the downstairs. Because everyone wants to see it. This is the main reception. Straight ahead here. Wee living room. I'm taking a video because everyone wants to see it. Smile for the camera, Mother.
Smile for the camera, Mother.
Go through to the kitchen. And then looks out the back to the kennels. That'd be my block for my dogs. Back door. Like that. And then through to kennel block. That's our current groom room. Potentially put a back door in there, I think, as well. Plug sockets, drainage channels at the back. Through to reception entrance for the kennels, and then the kennel block itself. These are too small depth wise for me, they're not big enough. I would look at bringing these out another 12 inch, they're 4 feet deep, I'd look at making them 5 feet deep. Again, we need to look at everything else specifically. It's what you would do. Insulated in here, lighting, there's taps at most sections. And then as you walk down, drainage channel, the doors out to the outside runs with the channel, and that building across there is the kennel block was in the back where my dogs would be. Again, that's out to the front where the neighbours are there. Just some panels. Now what I do need to ascertain is this door here, whether this is the end of the boundary, because if it is, then that would just get blocked up, because right now it's not on any hangers and there's junk there, but I would have quite liked a wee bit of that land, but I don't think I'm going to get it. So this would be the boarding kennels, and it would just be a case of figuring out how you actually work out how to do it, because right now we've probably got a 6 feet, 5.5, 6 feet gap. To me, as long as it was 2.5 feet wide, gaining 12 inch on either side of the kennel would be sufficient. And then I'll nip out and show there's other kennels where my dogs would be. The good thing is there's doors everywhere. This door here will take you out to the other kennel block. This door's quite stiff. So this is where my dogs would be. And these are unfinished, or at least have been taken down. I would think actually I would just keep this as 2 big runs either side, so I'd have my blocks or panels or whatever here. So you'd probably have about maybe 5-6 feet depth, but have the whole length down to basically the wall and the wall coming up. So you'd be left with that narrow channel to walk between them, which would be fine. Means I can basically leave the dogs, split them between them. I could potentially make it into 2 runs each side if I wanted, or keep it as 2 big ones, or maybe design it where I've got dividers I can put in. This one's got kennels. These again are even smaller than the other ones. These are like 4 foot cubes. This wouldn't be subject to licensing conditions, so this would be my kennels. I could potentially keep these panels in here if I wanted to, but you're not really going to fit an Anatolian. Well, you would, but we're not much room in our shelter. I'm going to fit out that because that's about 18 inch tall. But the option is here to basically take all this out and start afresh. You've got a door there which takes you out to the back, which has got some land. Not a huge amount of land I may add, but let me go back. Some of these would get blocked up. But there'd be plenty of room here. I mean, I could quite easily, God knows how, I mean, I could probably have 6 Anatolians each side without any issue. I then think, oh, I have to shut that door. So my dogs aren't seen. These dogs, the boarders, have a fence going along here, and then that's another potential exercise area. That's probably about 6 metres by probably 25 metres, I would say. So that'd be a good area, and then we've got another 2 metres before you hit the boundary fence, and then it circles round the front. So again, an option is if I try and put a fence right round it, it gives the dogs the opportunity to run right round the kennels to the front, and then there's again 2 metres to the fence, and then obviously the boundary goes right round the back. I would have this area coming off the house here as a garden area for my dad. That's the groom room, so potentially a door in there for me to come and go. Now the ground's super marshy, so that's something that needs addressed. That's just a storage room, which my dad said he would want, so that's fine. Into what was the cattery. Oh, my feet are soaking. We have sink and everything in here. So my plan would be the first maybe 3, maybe 4 catteries. I would obviously remove them. That gives me my canine fertility clinic, where I've got clinical environment. I can have my lab machines, table in there. I can do my inseminations, I can do scanning. Everything can be done in this environment. Heaters are there. Don't know how warm it gets, but they're there. And then I've got a massive area, again probably about 18 metres, where I could potentially have pet shop. It'd be long and narrow, but big enough that I could have plenty of storage space. There's a glass looking out on the front. This would all be fenced in for basically a dog run. For my dogs more than anything, I think. But I need to look into the specifics of what's required. And I'd have it fenced in, this bit, so this would be like a private driveway, so people can't just walk up here, and a fence along here, so essentially people walk in the front of the property, they come down this lane, which they can get from the front, where they walk down where I've just walked from to get to the canine clinic, or thankfully there's a wee door down this end, and that would be the pet shop entrance. So pet shop, canine clinic, water, heated, fine and dandy, and then potentially a fence going along here to fence in the front of my mum and dad's house so they felt that they had security. And then you've even got an option there to potentially put a conservatory at the front. I even spoke to mum and dad about maybe putting a balcony on for them, either the side or the back of the property, where they had a wee bit outside space. It wouldn't need to be massive, but just something where they can get outside space, because they technically don't have a back door. So there you go.